make a quick motion
That's fine.
to move to pooled method if you choose to. You may not, we may not need to.
Alright.
Yeah. Just after our, conversations last year when we all met, everybody was trying to get me to get it down. We pooled as much as we possibly could, so I thought you'd all be excited about pooling the whole thing, and then,
I'm with you on
and
the
then I was
pool
shocked
thing.
to find out maybe
I
not
gotta
so
say,
much.
I think Dawn, because she's a numbers person, the rest of us are like, big picture, like, how smart, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's fine, Debbie,
I
she's
would,
watching out for
I
you.
would prefer not to raise the dues on cluster one. I think that it's high enough as it is right now, and we've got a number of units that are up for sale that are not selling.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. I know that, it's a universal issue other places, but I'm also gonna speak for cluster two and the community, is that basically there's some people that are essentially trapped here that don't wanna be here. They can't sell their condo because no one's gonna buy, with the high HOA fee, unless the person, the owner, is pretty much giving it away or giving it undervalued. So, I think that's really sad, and I hate that people feel that way, and, so I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know that even if we were able to lower it, I know $20 isn't gonna change anything, because we're up there above 800 for cluster two. Which is why it's so frustrating that we can't even fix things with all that money, you know what I mean? So, yeah,
Well, you are, which is why you don't have any money. We've been fixing a lot of stuff the past couple of years.
Well, the beginning of this year, all I know is we couldn't even trim a tree or fix something in the pool or get the gutters cleaned. And it's difficult for me to explain that to the owners, like, oh yeah, I know we have all this, we're spending all this money, or, our HOA is above 800 and we can't even clean our gutters out. Like, it's hard to explain that to people. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it.
I do want to say this as a general statement. This board this board has, since last year when we adopted the budget, has worked with the intention and goal of not increasing our HOA for this coming year. So we have been careful, which is why we reevaluate our insurance. That has been our goal. The one thing for every single person who owns here to remember is we are funding our reserves. That was never done. And if you go around and you look at other communities and you ask if they fund their reserves, you might be very surprised by how many are not doing that. It is a major thing that we are funding our reserves. So we are trying to make it more even going forward than what it's been in the past, which is all of a sudden assessment. We're trying to get the money in there so all of these assessments don't have to continuously happen, or these year-end assessments aren't happening. And the goal has been, we recognized we had a massive increase last year and it was painful. We don't want that again. And so we began this year with the intention and the goal of being able to probably not reduce, but with the hope of not increasing, or at least not dramatically. So please remember, when you see those numbers, we have been trying very hard to get those numbers down to make it so we're not feeling the pinch to the extent that we've been feeling it. So we're not frivolously spending, we're not doing any of those things, we're trying to make good decisions. So this has been a goal. We understand. We are working towards that. Yeah.
We appreciate you guys
Anybody
working.
on the board
We appreciate you working towards
think
that.
it would be
Nancy,
worthwhile
one
to
second,
have a
we've got somebody-
conversation? What?
1 second, we have somebody actually asking a question.
Appreciate you trying to reserve the reserve, right? Put money into it. What's the cap? Where do you stop? Or are you just gonna keep on funding it? Because there's gotta be a cap. You just can't be dumping money with no end in sight. I'm just wondering what the cap would be.
So,
100,000, 200,000?
this answer is, I'm gonna answer you, but again, I'm gonna preface it with, I'm not trying to make anyone feel stupid.
No, not at all.
I don't know how to say it other than that question leads me to believe that you don't understand how it works in
No,
a condo. Exactly.
I understand what reserves are. We deal with them in the fire department all the time, but we also cap it at a certain amount. Now, once it drops below that, we have to put money back in, obviously.
Right.
But
that's if you, right, you said if it drops below it. So in a condo, It's an ongoing, every year thing. Every year, there's no cap, because you're never gonna stop spending. There's always something to fix. And so any money spent in that year, whether it was a planned project, like the whole 150,000, or 30,000 for an unexpected stack, that money then gets spread out over the years that you're collecting it. You're never gonna stop. They're never all gonna be done at once. There's never all gonna be a cap. Each year it gets adjusted based on the needs for the remainder of the years. The actual figures, the only way to come up with that, like what you refer to as the cap figure, is have the reserve study done, which the board did. They are not able to go change them. Now, if they want to contact somebody to come restore the lanais, redo the lanais, inspect them, they can get pricing from an engineer, a GDC, whatever it is they need, the permit people, whatever, and get that all together and say, hey, that figure doesn't match, it's cheaper, it's more expensive, whatever, and they can adjust it that way. Otherwise, every couple of years, you just go back to your reserve specialist and you say, hey, here's what we've done, here's where we're at, here's our money now, can you adjust this for the next so many years? It doesn't end. It's not like a bank, like what you're saying is like you get to, I don't know, say you need 750,000, you save to the 750. If you guys do a $200,000 project, then you start saving the 200 to get back up to 750. There's no cap here. The cap is the figures of the projects, and that's constantly moving along with the ins and outs of what's spent on those items. So it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how else to explain it and then that. Did that make sense?
It does, it just,
Yeah.
there's gonna be some years where we fix everything as we're moving towards it, and there's gonna be years where you don't really need to spend a lot of money, but we're gonna continue to dump.
In the schedule, which I can send you
understand
to
this.
show, there's plenty of years where it's zero out, because there's
So-
nothing planned.
Yeah, you have different lifespans for different
I understand that.
projects,
I understand.
so.
But let's say
Yeah.
in 1 year, 150 project, and 2 years with nothing, we're collecting 50 each year rather than the 150 for that 1 year and nothing yet. Yeah, so it's just spread out, but yeah, same idea. It's not really a cap. Go ahead, Dawn, sorry, I was using my hands and you can't see them.
No, you did fine, it's just, it's kind of a difficult concept to explain. What I'm gonna share with you, and then this is just, my niece is looking at a place over on the other side of Florida. And it's actually $265,000 for 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Her HOA is $650. It doesn't include some of the things that's included in ours. And is a 40-year-old building, and they are getting hit with another $2 million for building repairs after they just had $2 million in building repairs. And for each owner, it's going to be another $10,000 at least assessed, because they did not have adequate reserves in the age of the building. And now people similar are trying to sell. And what I was advising her is, you better find out what's in the works and what you're going to be responsible for. As we said, we don't want this to happen, but pooling and looking at some of these while we've been talking, it does seem to be the best for many of the clusters in just spreading it out and making sure things are funded. We may want to do some adjustments to some of these, some of the quotes from the reserve study. For example, like you just said, $200,000 for the Lanai. I mean, you're going to do that in 4 years? I don't know. And is it really $200,000?
Yeah, we haven't gotten
Those
that.
sort of things, but in doing that, by having that number, say it's only $100,000, and you're starting to go towards that, you then have money to use elsewhere, whether it's for your landscaping, like you mentioned, Nancy, or the sprinklers. So there are many advantages to the pooling, but to your point, it's going to be continuous.
Yeah.
Because you always have something to fix.
And in that schedule, like you said, like right now, I'm using cluster 1 because that's what I was looking at. It's only 17 years. 17 years long, because that's the longest life years they have of any item left. But once they fix something in 4 years that's a 60-year item, now we've got 60 years worth of
Correct.
So, I mean, it's constantly adjusting there, and I know what you mean, but there's no hard cap like that. Kind of, sorta, but there's no static figure to give anybody. There's no stopping, it's not gonna stop, never.
Correct, understand.
The other thing I was gonna say, right before you asked that question, which doesn't necessarily pertain to that, but in general, because I know Susan and a couple of them, met with me, I can't remember who all was there, it was you and Jeff
Oh,
and
yeah.
somebody, but anybody who's listening online, or anybody who's here in the room, or anybody you speak with who is confused, don't forget the website. I've been loading the financials the day I get them on the website. I'm actually loading your copy before I'm emailing the board their copy. So they're on the website for you to see, by seconds, not by like a day or two, by seconds. They're on the website for you to see, and anybody who wants some help answering questions or understanding the financials or which pages or where to find specific question information, I am happy to sit with you, schedule a little Zoom call and show you around. I did that for Susan and them, they were appreciative of it. I don't mind doing that. I'd rather you understand than be frustrated about where your money's going. So, that offer's there anytime.
I appreciate it.
Well, not for you, no.
Well, I know, but I'm saying on behalf of everybody, you know, we appreciate the fact that, this is a lot of times. Anything else from board members?
Whose question
Can
is
I-
this?
Kathy?
What I was gonna ask you before was, does anybody think that it would be helpful to contact some of the real estate brokers in the area and explain to them our costs and our, not necessarily the actual costs, but why our fees are what they are, so that they can explain it to their buyers?
I don't know.
And the people can understand that, well, you don't have to pay for internet, you don't have to pay for cable, you don't have to pay for water, you don't have to pay for trash. You've got 7 swimming pools in this place, 2 of which you can use freely, and so on and so forth. Do you think that would be helpful in any way to try to pick up the sales?
Are you volunteering to head that
Yeah.
committee?
I hear you, Nancy, I agree with you too, but I mean, again, just speaking from someone that's, you know, looking in real estate for a house to eventually move down to, once you see the numbers on the listing, people just click next, looking for a, because again, you can buy a home that's, or a condo that's newer, and again, you know, bells and whistles, all that stuff, and then it's a lower HOA, so really it's, I don't know if it would really help much, is my point, you know? I mean, just as an example, I put our condo on the market for about 6 months, and, we had 1 viewing. And I've sold several condos and homes in my lifetime, and that was my first experience. Normally, it's like, you know, as soon as you put it on the market, for example, up in Maryland, my next door neighbor put their home on the market last week, and it sold in 2 days, like that. It's just the nature of the, I think no one, until that we're basically on even playing fields with similar communities, similar, you know, and it's basically the same, I think nobody's gonna look this direction, because it's a lot of, it just is what it is.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna interject for a minute. I think part of it, one, is even in my own family, there's not a true understanding of how the reserves work. Number one, how condo living is different than living in a home. You have all of HOA fees that cover a lot of expenses, as Nancy had mentioned. But there's not an understanding. So you see that dollar amount and you're like, holy crap, what is this for? And there's not a true understanding, so they just go by it. I don't know how you fix that. Secondly, there were a lot of changes, and the board knows this because we had to go through the training,
Excuse us.
that pertain to
Dawn, hang on a minute, we'll wait for the owners to
Florida
stop talking.
that are higher than 3 stories and higher, or higher than 3 stories. Obviously, that doesn't apply to us. So there's strict rules. Again, it's education. Realtors, quite frankly, should know this. and we should be able to sell it
Good ones
accordingly.
too, yeah. Well, yeah, trying to talk to potential, buyers that see they can live on the island with the same cost, same HOA, that's the kind of stuff.
Not
you-
now.
No,
No, I was gonna
There's
say.
a point right? There's plenty
They're
of
still,
others that-
but it's a few, Portico, or Purico, you can probably
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, you might see all these great properties out there, but how many people are actually living there a year later, or are they getting slapped with assessments because they haven't been funded properly?
40,000, 50,000.
I think it's
not
that.
bad.
There's some very large assessments.
I think your place itself is supposed to be on the board.
Well, I took it off the market, I don't wanna sell it anyway.
So, any other, before we turn it over to the owners to be able to, ask questions, anything else from the board?
Nope.
Alright, so we have the owner Q&A, Janet.
Okay, I just wanna know about my carport, where it stands.
What?
Her carport is the one that the guy back.
The guy hit the carport
Yeah,
and bent the thing.
yeah.
I thought it was the painter, he came back and said no. We have it on video.
We know who it was.
Yeah, he came forward.
He came
Yeah,
forward, he actually
right.
found me.
So, when's
So-
it gonna get fixed?
Well, that's another question, we'll ask him.
Well,
I'll
We
tell
have
him
all
we need
of
a hard
his information.
timeline and return them into the police, that's all.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, I mean, I'd
And
like
we're gonna have
something,
it
I
fixed
mean,
and he's gonna be
I don't know that, how sturdy it is. I got my car parked right under there and I don't want that thing falling down.
Yeah.
So,
It's a good week.
I haven't seen any action, so that's why I was wondering how much longer.
He was here the next Monday. He came looking for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Because he was on video too.
I don't even know if he realized that.
Oh.
Like he actually went looking for me. And I was, he came to my door and I was like, okay. And he admitted that he was the one who did it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm a contractor, I will fix it. And I was like, great, here's Janet's
Did he
information.
give you his insurance company's name?
Janet's working with him.
Okay.
So,
I'm just asking, cause I just don't want it dragged out forever and ever.
yeah.
Why, it looks good.
Nuh-uh.
I mean, it adds like a
Can't
little
even
bit
tell.
of, I mean, it's style.
When I'm parked under there, I can see that roof line.
You know, at least you know the rain's gonna come off of it
Uh-huh.
and not just cool.
Uh-huh.
Just
Okay.
'cause the post is like this.
Yeah,
it's-
right,
They were
right.
trying to make a J for Janet.
Uh-huh. No, thanks, girls.
Yeah, no, I'll get back on him.
Sing
another
We'll give
tune.
him a timeline.
Sing
or
another tune.
Police
I know.
report,
I
yeah.
mean,
Please.
Because
we
he
tried.
should've.
We
Please.
tried very hard to, I was just impressed that the man actually came and admitted to it.
That's right.
tonight.
Now he needs to work on fixing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah. What are we gonna do about Jimmy Flowers? Never mind the
Nope.
stuff.
You can't bring up like a specific person.
Oh, sorry. What are you doing about people that have their stuff out, like their front door, you know, supplies or
We
stuff
really need
with-
to establish a fining committee, is what I'm hearing.
Honestly, I am to the point with some of that stuff where I.
Well, can I finish? Okay, and screens, like screens and stuff outside their front door and whatever, and it's been the same constant person.
I hear you.
I have basically said that I think that we should be able to go around and throw it away.
Well, that's what I used to do with Abraham, he used to do that. He would pick up, dead plants that were in pots, he'd toss them. Nobody ever said anything to me about it, that we had done
That
that.
requires Abraham.
Nobody asked where the pots went.
Well, we have video, people that have video,
Yeah, I mean,
but it's,
In general, the process to, address someone that's not following the rules is not as easy as one might hope it would be. I've learned
I
the
mean,
hard way.
the thing is, it's
We've sent the letters.
Yeah, it's not.
the reminder is that the property in front of your home is not yours,
Mhm.
right? So if you're leaving all that crap in front of your home, you're basically making it available for anybody to come and discard it. So, I don't have a problem
well, the
having
problem
Abraham
is,
go around and
the
do
problem
that.
is that I have to look at it and so does everybody else.
I'm aware of that, and what I'm saying is that I don't have a problem using Abraham to go and do those
Can
things.
we take care of that?
That requires
No,
us to be able to.
no, let's talk about it. because we wanna make sure that we're doing it correctly and not incorrectly. Now that we know, Nancy, we're not gonna do that anymore. So does the board have a right to remove someone's personal property that's on the common element with giving them a notice to remove it and get it off of there? Yes, then they can go around and get it. But if they take those steps, we can get somebody's 17 plants, but we're also gonna take somebody's 1 plant. Because it's not one or nothing, it's all or nothing.
It's everything.
It's everything. It's not 1 from here because it's dead, or 3 from here because they've got 17. They're either allowed to be there or they're not allowed
And
to
it's
be there.
gotta be equal in the whole property.
The whole property, and we have sent letters, like Megan's right, we've sent several. You don't have a fining committee, you can't collect on the fines anyway, even if you did. We did just mention having a fining committee because we could start shutting off pool. But the thing is, we talked about this before. How do you block people from using your cluster pool? Are you gonna go tackle them and get every copy of the
Right.
key they have? You know, there's no way to do it, so.
I mean, how many people do we have with the lawyer? There's, how many, is there a number, like 20 people?
Collections?
Yeah,
I
collections.
don't have my thing up
That's what, the
anymore.
point is,
Overall.
these people have gotten letters and, notices and
Okay.
stuff, and it's like, what's very frustrating for me anyway, and I think for all of us, is that our hands are tied in a lot of situations, and it takes a long time to get where we wanted to be day one,
So the next step is to have and we talked about this in the email, we have the attorney start sending out enforcement letters. You have so many days to do this, or we're gonna take further action with the courts. But the attorney's $250 an hour, so I mean, that's up to you guys. If we wanna do this, we can do it. It's always been a cautious, expenditure of money. But maybe we need to look into like you said, Laura, like having Abraham go around and do it like Nancy used to, but it's gotta be everything. It can't be
Well,
the dead one,
So,
the one that has blood.
we had talked about this before because, the question had come up about whether or not you could plant plants and whatnot, and we said planting in the ground, yes. Go ahead, if you wanna put plants in the ground and beautify it, please, because that means the clusters don't have to pay for it. All the other crap though, the bags of dirt and, the carts that people will just store instead of putting in their closets, all of those things that clutter up the community and make it look like a dump. And those things, like, we had said that we were gonna kind of decide what was acceptable and what is not. And if you're gonna plant, it's gotta be in the ground, it can't be in a pot, things like that. Because
that's fair.
so I think we have to kind of decide what that is, but all of the extra crap, people like leaving towels over the landing of the upstairs lanai. You can't do that.
Or their underwear.
Oh God.
Oh, yeah, that was.
So.
Even when if the gardening, the knee plant and the.
Yeah, all of the actual gardening paraphernalia, like, don't leave that out. And that's the problem, is I think that people forget, once you walk outside of your front door, that's not your property anymore. So, are we gonna remove your mat, your front door mat? No, I don't think we would do that, but if you're gonna have,
What's it say?
Yeah.
it's very friendly for the most part, on mat, that sort of thing, but do we have like, standards, but, this is something that we can talk about again, when we have to decide, what is and what is not. And that's not for tonight.
Well, it kind of, sort of, we can get but I'm just gonna tell you, when you get your draft budgets, and you guys take a look at them, maybe you wanna put some to attorney for things like that, so we can start having letters sent and getting some things enforced.
Correct the whip on people, clean it up.
If you send out maybe 1 or 2 letters and people see that it's actually serious and it's going to be done. then
From the
other
attorney?
people- Yes, then
Yeah.
other people will take note and they're not gonna do it because they don't wanna get.
What's the
fined
repercussion
against
though? You
something.
send the attorney letters, what happens then? If they don't comply?
What's the
If they
process?
don't demand it, they file with the court to get a judge to issue an injunction to force them to do it. And if they don't, they'll be arrested. It's like what is it, like contempt of court, when
But you can put a lien against the property, but then you have to file a lien every so often to
We
keep
can't
it
put a
going.
lien against the property in a condo. HOA you can. Not in a condo though.
But yeah.
Can you guys repeat what you started in the beginning? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, it was a joke.
Yeah.
Just wanna hear about that.
I'm just kidding, it was a joke.
All right.
say, we're all leaving.
I know.
No?
No.
Done. Meeting adjourned.
So kidding.
Alright, let's call it.
Yeah, I wanna know what's going on.
Alright,
with
all,
the stove.
thank you for attending virtually.
Remember we got that stove that's
Oh,
down?
yes,